Hey guys, for today we'll be taking a look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Superman Returns Superman, the Bale and Routh version of Superman. And I noticed I've never done a DC Multiverse toy review or action figure review on this channel, considering that I started collecting DC Multiverse since when it started back in 2020. So yeah, let's get started. And you know, maybe this DC Multiverse video or review is like a one and done thing, maybe. It's depending on the topic, that remains to be seen. But yeah, so as you guys can see, we'll just look at the packaging, the figure. And this is a long time coming because this figure is practically my endgame, even though McFarlane still has plans to release whatever remaining figures at the, you know, all the way into the end of 2026. But but since he's giving us this figure, you know, I might as well quit collecting McFarlane DC Multiverse figures, even though I'm looking forward to whatever he has left to release. But yeah, I've been wanting this figure, or like a Bale and Routh Superman figure from McFarlane for years, and it took 6 years for McFarlane to give us this figure. And, you know, it's been 20 years since the movie came out. I am old, okay? I was 9 years old when Superman Returns came out. You know, like, back in 2006. So, and, you know, I loved Bale and Routh as Superman. I really liked him as Superman. He was my Superman as a child, you know, who was born in 97, who grew up in the 2000s. I'm not a fan of the movie, only because, like, the movie had great scenes. It had great moments in there, like the airplane scene, the minigun scene, you know, him lifting up the Kryptonite Island and the sun, you know, restoring its powers. But other than that, the movie was a mess. It didn't know what it wanted to be, whether it's a sequel to the Richard Donner stuff or a reboot. So this movie had an identity crisis, but I love the hype around this movie, like the merch, the commercials, you know, like the toys, the video game. I'd go as far as saying I like the video game more than I did the movie. Even the Adobe Flash games on the computer when you go to the Superman Returns website back in the day. So yeah, I'm just glad we finally got a Bale and Routh Superman figure. So let's see how he is. Okay guys, here he is out of the package, and this is all you get. What you see is what you get. What the fuck? You know, considering I paid $26.99, I bought this from the McFarlane Toys store, and plus shipping, plus tax, it came out to be 30 something. And this is all you get. And I get it, like, this is his final year of making DC Multiverse figures. So I guess this is a sign of figures being rushed, being pushed out, and McFarlane just, you know, putting everything, whatever's left of it, and making the most of this brand, which kind of sucks because I felt like the past couple of years McFarlane has been wasting time doing nonsense gold labels and Jokerized stuff when he could have given us more characters like this with accessories. And yeah, pretty much this is it for $26.99, but since I bought them from the McFarlane Toy store, it came out to 30 something dollars. So yeah, make of that for what you will. But, and considering that I assume future releases from McFarlane, he's just gonna pump everything out, and whether you consider that him locking in or not really depends on you. But yeah, so it is his final year, whatever, right? We have this base with the classic DC logo, you know, the usual. We got the trading card, which McFarlane always gives us since the beginning of this line. So we got a nice little promo pic, poster, image of Bale and Routh as Superman. Then we have a nice little picture and the bio. So there you go. But yeah, this figure, if you own the Christopher Reeve Superman figure, you know what to expect. And I'd say the figure is good, but not perfect, obviously. Like this head sculpt. Like this head sculpt is there. Like I can see a little bit of Bale and Routh in there, and I'll throw in some pictures of the old Mattel figures I used to have, because I don't have any Mattel Superman Returns figures on me. So I'll throw up some pictures, but what do you guys think of this likeness? I personally think it's fine. It's there, but it's not perfect. Considering that it's 20 years since the movie has passed, you would think the likeness would be spot on by now, but I guess not. And one of the things I noticed from this figure that I noticed back in Toy Fair when they showed off all those images is that he's missing the textures. He's missing the little S logo textures that he would have on the body. I know the Mattel Superman Returns had like the textures, but for this figure, they did not have it. And once again, I just like to assume that McFarlane pushed this out because it's his last year, you know, making DC Multiverse figures. So he probably did not have time to add in the, you know, the details or whatever. So this is what we get. So yeah. And as you guys can see, the S logo is actually bigger than it really is, because in the movie it was smaller, but this S logo is bigger, which I like, because one of the criticisms of this costume was that the S logo was smaller and people would prefer a bigger S logo, which this is what it is, and I think that's pretty cool. And you know what I think of the Superman Returns outfit? I like the outfit back in 2006. I remember as a kid, as a 9-year-old, this figure, or this costume, I always thought it was sleek. My only criticism with this costume is that it was maroon rather than red. So that was one of my criticisms as a kid, but I did like this costume. I always thought it felt sleek and modern for the time. So yeah. And then you have the underwear with the S logo. And then the boots. You got the nice little texture detailing on the boots right here, just like the movie. And on the treads, he gave them the little S logos, which is cool, which is accurate to the movie. Even the original Mattel figures had this. And as you guys can see in the back, he also has the S logos on the heels, which is really cool. Great attention to detail. But yeah, and articulation, like I said, if you own the Christopher Reeve figure, you'll know it's the same thing. You know, rotation can look up. If you use the ab, you know, these ab and waist, you can give them a flying pose. See? Shoulders out, forward, you know, the butterfly joint. Bicep swivel, double joint elbows, wrists, you know, the usual articulation that McFarlane would give us. Hips goes forward, double joint knees, and then the ankle articulation and toe. So it's basically the usual articulation. I'm not going to go into detail because I think a lot of you guys might have the Christopher Reeve figure already, so you guys know what I'm talking about. And then the cape. The cape is a nice material, which I prefer this material, but there's no wire, of course, which I personally don't care. Like, if it has wire, great. If it doesn't, that's fine. I just care about if the cape is cloth or not, and with good material, because I hate plastic capes. I really hate plastic capes, but this one is a good deal. So, yeah. And then we'll do a size comparison with the Christopher Reeve version of Superman. I know he's on the base, but let me see if I can remove it. There you go. So that's what it looks like. And let me throw in another Superman. I have a Corn Sweat figure. You guys can't tell from this angle, but he's the shortest Superman, you know, out of all the live action Superman movie figures. I do not have Henry Cavill because I just was not a fan of McFarlane's attempt of a Henry Cavill Superman, even though he did release a new one, which is the Heat Vision Eyes Superman. So I might get that one because I do want a Henry Cavill in my collection. I do like Henry Cavill as Superman. So, but yeah, that's the size comparison. Let me take Corn Sweat out. I do have a Hush body, but with a Rebirth Superman head with a custom cape. I know the cape's too long, but I kind of have this right here. Let's hope he stands. There you go. So there's your size comparison. Let me throw in a couple more figures. Cyclops right here from Marvel Legends. I have Marvel Legends Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine, the brown costume. I have the Deadpool and Wolverine Blade. And let's throw in the Marvel Legends No Way Home Tobey Maguire Spider-Man with the custom head sculpt. So there's that. Let me see. Here is Overwatch Ultimate's Zarya. And here is the SH Figure Arts Chun-Li. So you get an idea of the scaling. I know from this angle it's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, that's pretty much it. It's McFarlane. His 7-inch line of figures don't really mesh well with other lines, which I don't have a problem with. I like it in the scale. It was great. The bigger, the better. But this is something I want to see right here. This. And as a kid, I used to have both the Mattel Christian Bale Batman from Batman Begins / Dark Knight and the Superman Returns Superman, Brandon Routh Superman figure, and I would always pair them up and have them go on adventures and team up. And as a kid, I wanted to see this. Like, as a kid, this was a dream come true. Just having these two together. Like, this is the world's finest film that we should have gotten. And I remember seeing fan-made posters online, especially that one picture with Superman and Batman on top of the Daily Planet. And I thought it was like one of the most realistic pictures ever. And I thought we were actually going to get a world's finest movie, but that never happened. And we ended up with Batman v Superman, which I liked. Like, but it's not the ideal world's finest movie. But better yet, let's do this one. Let's do this Batman Begins. And both of these guys have custom capes, by the way, but because I hate the material used for it. But like, look at this, man. Like, dude, this looks tough, dude. Like, these two go hard. Like, dude, this is the world's finest that I wanted, you know, on the big screen. This is the one, you know, the world's finest that I wanted to see. But we never got it, unfortunately. But seeing this, it's like a dream come true. You know, 9-year-old me would have gone crazy for this. 8-year-old / 9-year-old me, because I was 8 when Batman Begins came out. I was 9 when Superman Returns came out. But yeah, dude, like, this is sick. Like, wow. But yeah, that's pretty much the review. It's not really a review, technically. It's more of a showcase, I guess. But yeah. Do I recommend picking up this figure? Only if you liked Superman Returns, or like the hype around it or whatever. If you had like nostalgia or memories for it, that's the only time I recommend this. But if you guys don't care for Superman Returns or Brandon Routh, it's an easy pass. But I like this. This is sick. But yeah, so I'll see you guys next time.